Back on January 2nd of 2023, the new year, I made a video discussing the weekly RSI downtrend line, and that if we broke it, it would be a major macro bullish signal. And that trend line, that RSI resistance line, was this one right here. And oftentimes when you break this weekly RSI, you have about half a year of trending to the upside, right? This is a long-term signal. And that means that if we confirm this signal, this next macro trend expansion phase could last right into the new year or beyond. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is September 17th, Tuesday. Bitcoin is still well within this consolidation. We still have lower highs from our previous major lower high back from August. So we are not out of the woods just yet. On the 4-hour chart, we can see that Bitcoin tested the 1272 from high to low, which was the same target in the previous zone. After we had a bounce, that high to low, we tested the 1272 fib before a retrace. Bitcoin is doing the same thing here. Now, it is possible that we could continue to consolidate, although if Bitcoin manages to break above that high and break above the 1272, that may signal a change, a complete change in this trend. Now, if you take a trend line and you just mark up your resistance, just lining up as many touch points as you can, this July 29th high to the August lower high, we are starting to fight this downtrend. So this medium-term downtrend is the current challenge. If Bitcoin manages to break this resistance trend, then I would be looking for the next expansion phase on the weekly time scale. If we start getting higher highs in this range, I do think that Bitcoin will begin to trend up and actually trend into a new all-time high. Going back in time, we can see that this signal has a high hit rate. Even in 2017, when we broke the RSI downtrend, a major run in 2019, after we broke the RSI downtrend after COVID, right after the halving, a major uptrend. And so you can see it's a very high hit rate. It almost never fails as long as you identify this correctly. Now, I'll say this week has not ended yet, and we're going to want to see this weekly RSI closing above the 50 level, giving us a clear weekly close above the RSI downtrend line, and then I would be looking for a full recovery and a new expansion phase in this market. Now, I mean, a lot of people think that these words like, new all-time highs, expansion phase, they think it sounds crazy, and it only sounds crazy because we've been going sideways and down since March. But Bitcoin's price, all it has to do is go up about 23%, and that's a new all-time high. We are currently only down about 18 or 19% from the all-time high, so we're really not far away. I don't think people understand that. We are very close to the new all-time high. And oftentimes when you break this weekly RSI, you have about half a year of trending to the upside, right? This is a long-term signal. And that means that if we confirm this signal, this next macro trend expansion phase could last right into the new year or beyond. So I think that Q4 of 2024 is going to be the bullish quarter. This is going to be the quarter that melts faces and surprises a lot of people. When the market doesn't do much for a long time and it's really boring, people lose their spirits and they start to think that nothing's possible, this market sucks, whatever. But you have to understand that things do change. And you got to respect the TA. This signal rarely ever fails throughout all of history, guys. Now, taking a look at the altcoins, the total three, this is the altcoin market cap. We've had a nice consolidation for the altcoin market cap. Not a great year. The beginning was nice, but then we gave up all the gains since the beginning of the year. Now we are consolidating sideways, nearing the end of this formation. We are more than 70% of the way into this pattern, which means we are within the pattern completion zone of the altcoin market consolidation. Altcoins have been very boring recently, but I do think that is about to change for the better. Now, looking at the altcoin market cap on the weekly chart, you can see that the setup we are in is quite similar to the previous cycle. Cycle peak, lower high, dump into an accumulation zone, resistance break, consolidation, and then moon. Peak of the market, lower high, dump into an accumulation zone, resistance break, consolidation, and moon. That's what I think. And we are also on time. We're not behind schedule, 157 weeks from all-time high to lower high breakout for the altcoin market cap. Right now, we are still many weeks away from being at that 157th week, which is in November. If these cycles were going to be similar in timing, well, we have until November to see the altcoins begin to trend up for that lower high breakout. And things do change really quickly, guys. In the last cycle, when we broke the consolidation, it was only about 10 weeks and we were breaking that lower high zone and going to the moon. And from now, 10 weeks would be about November. So that 10-week run could be a pretty big 10-week run. Things can change very fast in these markets. This is crypto. It usually catches you off guard. So if you've been accumulating, sort of just sticking to the plan, I think you will be rewarded very soon, not just for Bitcoin, but also the altcoins. And when you take a look at the Bitcoin monthly chart, I mean, things are perfectly on track. We are in a macro monthly uptrend, higher lows, higher highs, right near the all-time high zone. It wouldn't take much for us to break out at this point. And especially if you take a look at the monthly line chart, Bitcoin's just building support on previous resistance from 2021. Things are looking good for Bitcoin from a long-term perspective. We are almost there. And this weekly RSI breakout is the next major signal that could be leading to our expansion phase. And because we've had such a long consolidation, I think that's healthy, that's positive. That's allowed a lot of time for bigger players to accumulate Bitcoin below the all-time high, coins changing hands, and then looking for the expansion phase. And I do think that Bitcoin could be looking for 100K. I mean, I know that sounds crazy. In the last cycle, from high to low, using your fibs, Bitcoin reached the 1618. And from high to low, for this potential all-time high break, the 1618 is coming in at 173,000. Now, because of diminishing returns, higher market cap, we may not get to that place. Maybe we won't get to that target, but the 1272 is at 103,000. The 1272 is a possible target. I'm not saying it's going to be the peak, but that is our first major fib target above us. So I do think this next major expansion phase with the weekly RSI breakout could be leading us towards the 1272, just above 100,000. But we will see. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think this weekly RSI downtrend line breakout is going to play out, is going to lead to an expansion phase? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe and join the Patreon if you want extra content, support this channel, and I will see you all in the next video.